Today we will discuss what is row equivalence matrices and what is column equivalent matrices. It is very simple. A matrix A is said to be row equivalent matrices. B, if B is obtained from A by applying only row transformations. Okay, and a matrix A is said to be column equivalent matrices B if B is obtained from A by applying only column transformation, and we write A is equivalent to B, means if A matrix A is obtained from row equivalent matrix, A matrix A is said to be row equivalent matrix if it is obtained from A by applying only row transformation, and it is called column equivalent matrices B if B is obtained by applying only column transformations. Now we will discuss some theorem, and these theorems are very important. So here is implement of only row transformation. Theorem is that if A is an M cross N matrix of rank R, then there exists a non-singular matrix P such that P into A means P is multiplied pre of the A. P into A is equal to, in column G, 0 O or O, which is the 0 matrix, where G is an R cross N matrix of rank R and O is M minus R into N order. Proof is very simple. Since A is an M cross N matrix of rank R, therefore there exist non-singular matrices P and Q such that PAQ is equal to, in row IR0, in second row 0 0. This is equation number 1. This is written according to the statement of the theorem. Now every non-singular matrix may be expressed as the product of non-singular matrices. This is also a theorem. Hence we assume that Q is equal to Q1 into Q2 and so on into Qt, where Q1, Q2 up to Qt are nothing but it is elementary matrices. Then equation number 1 may be written as PA Q1 Q2 up to so on Qt is equal to, in row IR0, in second row 0 0, and let it be equation number 2. Now every column elementary transformation of a matrix is equivalent to post multiplication with the corresponding elementary matrix, and since no column transformation can affect the last M minus R rows of the RHS of equation number 2, therefore post multiplying the RHS of equation number 2 by the elementary matrices Qt inverse, comma Qt minus 1 inverse and so on Q2 inverse, comma Q1 inverse 1 by 1, and effecting column transformation in RHS of equation number 2, then we get a relation of the form, and this relation is nothing but P into A is equal to GO in column, and let it be equation number 3. Okay, and since elementary transformation do not change the rank of the matrix, therefore the rank of the matrix PA is the same as that of the matrix A, and matrix A is of rank R. Thus, the rank of the matrix GO in column is R, and therefore the rank of G is also R. As the matrix G has R rows and last m minus R rows of the matrix GO consist of 0 only, and hence the theorem. Now we will discuss another theorem. Theorem is that if A, B and M cross n matrix of rank R, then there exists a non-singular matrix Q such that AQ is equal to A0 in row, where O is an M cross R matrix of rank R and O is M cross n minus R order. Proof. Since A is an M cross n matrix of rank R, therefore there exists a non-singular matrix P and Q such that PAQ is equal to in row I R 0, in second row 0 0. This is written according to the theorem, statement of the theorem, and let it be equation number 1. Now every non-singular matrix can be expressed as the product of elementary matrices. Therefore, let P is equal to P1, P2 up to PS, where P1, P2 up to PS are nothing but elementary matrices, and elementary matrices which is obtained from unit matrix by a single elementary transformation. Okay, so equation number 1 may be expressed as P1, P2, P3 and so on PS A Q is equal to IR0 in row and second row 0 0, and let it be equation number 2. Now every row transformation of a matrix is equivalent to pre-multiplication with the corresponding elementary matrix. So again, no row transformation can affect the last n minus r columns of the matrix IR0 in row 0 0. Therefore, pre-multiplying the LHS of 2 by the elementary matrices P1 inverse, P2 inverse and so on, PS inverse 1 by 1, and effecting the corresponding transformation in RHS of equation number 2. Then we get a relation of the form AQ is equal to H0 in row, and let it be equation number 3. Now elementary transformation does not change the rank of the matrix, Therefore, the rank of AQ is the same as that of A, and which is the R. Thus, the rank of the matrix H0 in row is R, and therefore the rank of the matrix H is also R. As the matrix H has R columns, and last n minus R columns of the matrix H0 in row consist of 0 only. And so here's the theorem, and these both theorems are very important, and you will see it in vector space. So prepare these theorems. Now we will discuss a very important theorem, and which is asked in your paper always. Theorem is related to the rank of the matrix, rank of a product of matrix. The theorem statement of the theorem is that the rank of a product of two matrices cannot exceed the rank of either matrices. Means if there is two matrices A and B, then their product will be AB, and their rank will be equal to or less than to the either matrices. Proof is very simple. This theorem is very important. Proof: let A and B be the matrices M cross N and N cross P respectively. And R1, R2 be the ranks of matrix A and matrix B respectively. And let R be the rank of the product AB. So we have to prove that R is less or equal to R1 and R is less or equal to R2. Now since A is an M cross N matrix of rank R, therefore there exists a non-singular matrix P such that P into A is equal to GO in column, where G is an R1 cross N matrix of rank R1 and O is M minus R1 into N. Therefore, we can write PAB by multiplying B both sides. PAB is equal to GO in column into B, and let it be equation number 2. Says rank of a matrix does not change by multiplying it with a non-singular matrix. Therefore, rank of PAB is equal to rank of AB in bracket, and this is equal to R, and let it be equation number 3. It means rank of the matrix GO into B is equal to R, and let it be equation number 4. Since the matrix G has only R1 non-zero rows, okay, therefore the matrix GO in column into B cannot have more than R1 non-zero rows, which arises by multiplying R1 non-zero rows of G with the column of B. Thus we see that the rank of the matrix in column GO into B is less or equal to R1. That means R is less or equal to R1. And let it be equation number 4. It means that rank of product of two matrices AB, that is rank AB, is less or equal to rank of the prefactor A. Okay. Again, R is equal to rank of AB, and this is your equal to rank of AB dash, and so this is your equal to rank of B dash A dash. Since AB dash is equal to B dash A dash, and this is your equal to R2. It means R is less or equal to R2. Thus we conclude that rank of AB is less or equal to the rank of the post factor B. So this theorem is very important, and do carefully. Now you should note one point: every non-singular matrix is row equivalent to a unit matrix. Every non-singular matrix A is row equivalent to a unit matrix. Now here we have one theorem: every non-singular matrix A may be expressed as the product of elementary matrices. This is the theorem. Proof is very simple, and this is sometimes asked in your exam. So prepare this theorem. If A is an n-rowed non-singular matrix, then there exist elementary matrices E1, E2 up to Et such that proof, if A be an n-rowed non-singular matrix, then there exist elementary matrices E1, E2 up to Et such that Et into Et minus 1 and so on E2 E1 A is equal to In, and let it be equation number 1. Now pre-multiplying both sides of 1 by Et Et minus 1 so on E2 E1 and its inverse, we get Et in bracket Et minus 1 up to so on E2 E1 inverse into in bracket Et minus 1 E2 E1 into A, and this is your equal to Et minus 1 E2 E1 inverse In. and this implies that in A is equal to E1 inverse, E2 inverse, and so on, Et inverse into in, since reverse will be in inverse will be in reverse order. So therefore A is equal to E1 inverse, E2 inverse, and so on, Et minus 1 inverse, Et inverse, and let it be equation number 2. And since the rank of an elementary matrix is also an elementary matrix of the same type, hence we have the result. Now we will discuss about the use of the elementary transformation in order to find the inverse of a non-singular matrix. There is very simple use. Suppose if there exist elementary matrices E1, E2, and so on up to Et, such that Et, Et minus 1, and so on, E2, E1 in bracket into A is equal to in, and let it be equation number 1. Then post multiplying both sides of 1 by A inverse, we get Et in bracket Et minus 1, and so on, E2, E1 inverse A inverse. This is equal to in A inverse. This implies Et into Et minus 1, and so on, E2, E1 in bracket in equal to A inverse. Okay, and this A inverse is nothing but Et minus 1, and so on, E2, En, In, and let it be equation number 2. Now we will discuss working rule for finding the inverse of a non-singular matrix by applying only row transformation. Means how inverse may be obtained by applying row transformations. Here if if A is a non-singular matrix of order n, then we write A is equal to INA. Now we go on applying elementary row transformation only to the matrix A and the prefactor in of the product INA till we reach the result in is equal to BA. Then B is the inverse of A. This working rule knowledge is very simple, and you will find it very simple if you do one problem. So we will discuss one problem. Here example is find the inverse of the matrix A, which is your equal to in row wise 1 2 1 3 2 3 and in last row 1 1 2 by using elementary transformations. So this is given to a matrix A, and you have to find the inverse of the matrix. This type of problem is also given in your practical work. We have A is equal to I3A since given rank is of order 3. So unit matrix will be of order 3. So we have written either here as A is equal to I3A. So here A is equal to 1 to 1, 3 to 3, 1 1 2 row wise is equal to row wise 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. This is the unit matrix of order 3 into A, and let it be question number 2. Now we go on applying elementary row transformation to the matrix A LHS of 1 until it is reduced to the form I3, and every row transformation will also be applied to the prefactor I3 of the product on RHS of the 2. Here we apply R2 as R2 as R2 minus 3R1, R3 as R3 minus R1. We get in row wise 1 to 1, 0 minus 4 0, 0 minus 1 1, and this is your equal to 1 0 0 minus 3 1 0 minus 1 0 1 into A. Now applying R2 as minus 1 by 4 R2. Okay, we are trying to reduce the matrix into unit matrix. So we now apply R2 as minus 1 by 4 R2. We get 1 to 1 row wise 0 1 0 and 0 minus 1 1, and this is your equal to 1 0 0 and 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4 0 minus 1 0 1. Now we reduce this matrix into unit matrix or say in a Kellen form. So here we apply R1 as R1 minus 2 R2 and R3 as R3 plus R2. We get by row 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 1. Okay, and this is equal to, after solving we will get row wise minus 1 by 2 1 by 2 0, and this is in second row 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4 0, and in third row minus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4 1 into A. Now we see in column third last element is 1, you have to make it 0. Then we apply not third in first column last element, not last element but first element of the third column. Here we apply R1 as R1 minus R3. We get 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 is equal to minus 1 by 4 3 by 4 minus 1 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4 0, or minus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4 0. Okay, Once again, 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1, this is equal to minus 1 by 4 3 by 4 minus 1 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4 0, and minus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4 1 into A. Thus we see that I3 is equal to BA, where B is the inverse of the matrix A. Hence we have A inverse is equal to B equal to minus 1 by 4 3 by 4 minus 1, row wise 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4 0, and minus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4 1. This is your answer, that is the inverse of the matrix A. Now we will discuss one more theorem, more example. Find the inverse of the matrix A. In first row, minus 1 minus 3 3 minus 1. Okay. In second row, 1 1 minus 1 0. In third row, 2 minus 5 2 minus 3. And in last row, minus 1 1 0 1. Do yourself this problem. If you find any problem, then discuss me. I will tell you. Thank you.